Welcome to the Elevate Media Podcast with your host, Chris Anderson. In this show, Chris and his guests will share their knowledge and experience on how to go from zero to successful entrepreneur. They have built their businesses from scratch and are now ready to give back to those who are just starting. Let's get ready to learn, grow, and elevate our businesses. And now, your host, Chris Anderson.
Welcome back to the Elevate Media Podcast. I am Chris Anderson, and today I'm going to dive into a crucial skill that we need to work on as entrepreneurs, and that is crafting the perfect elevator pitch. So whether you're at a networking event, at a business meeting, or maybe just in an actual elevator, compelling a pitch can open doors. I'm going to go over a few things. I'm going to go over the anatomy of an effective elevator pitch, a step-by-step approach to build and craft your pitch, and some examples from a couple industries. So let's get started. The first thing I want to cover is the anatomy of an effective elevator pitch. So an elevator pitch is a brief, persuasive speech that sparks some interest in what your business actually does. But it's got to be short, sweet, and to the point, and it's got to be memorable. So the key components to an elevator pitch is clarity, brevity, and a call to action. Remember, it's not just what you say, it's how you say it. So avoid some common pitfalls like using jargon that are specific to the industry or just being too overly detailed. So next, a step-by-step guide to crafting your pitch. First step is you want to start with your purpose. So ask yourself, what is the core purpose of my business? Just for an example, I love baked goods. So if you run a bakery, maybe it's not just about selling bread or pastries. Maybe it's actually about bringing homemade, healthy options to your community. That would be your why. That would be the deeper meaning behind your pitch. It's just not we have baked goods. Step 2, you got to highlight your unique selling points. What makes you different? What makes you stand out? So as a bakery, how are you different from all the others? Is it the organic ingredients, the family recipes that no one else knows or has, or the cozy atmosphere that you present, the experience? You got to think about what sets you apart and highlight those in your pitch. And then step 3, you've got to engage with a question or maybe even a fascinating fact. You could start your pitch with something like, did you know that most breads in our area are made with preservatives, but ours aren't? That could be the interesting fact or the differentiating mark that can start off that intrigue with those you're trying to share it with. And then step 4, keep it simple and don't use industry-specific wording that not everyone's going to understand. You want to use language that anyone, even a non-baker, would get. So keep it super simple. You don't want to say and use all the big names of ingredients and things that are out there in those other bakeries because no one's going to know what that means or if they're bad or good, actually. So just keeping it simple by saying they use fake stuff when they're making their produce, when they're baking their goods. We use all organic, natural things without all the fillers or things that are going to be harmful to your body. So you try to break it down to super simple where, a kid could understand. And then step 5, you want to end with a call to action. And that could be as simple as, hey, stop by, let them know that I sent you and get a free taste of one of our, pieces of bread or muffins or something like that, or taste the difference for yourself. Do something that's going to be intriguing enough to hopefully make them actually do it, but also be a little bit memorable as well. So that was the step-by-step approach of building an elevator pitch. Again, super simple, doesn't have to be long, doesn't take a whole lot. So now here are some examples that can maybe put it into a little bit better context. So, for example, if you're a tech startup, you could say here at, tech company, we're revolutionizing how small businesses manage their finances. Have you ever thought about how much time you could save with automated accounting? If not, maybe you should check out our app and see the difference in the simplicity that we bring to the finance world through our app. For healthcare, maybe you could say, with our healthcare program, we're not just a clinic, we're actually your partner in health. Our approach, personalized patient care like never before. And if you're interested in healthcare experiences tailored just for you, we're who you need to do work with. So those are just examples that you can kind of see. It's super short, to the point, and super easy to understand. But then, don't forget, practice makes perfect. You got to rehearse it, go over it, record it, listen to it again. Does it sound natural? Does it grab attention? Do you think it's going to get feedback? If it doesn't get feedback when you actually use it, refine it. And then pay attention to your body language if you're recording it, and the tone of how you present it. You've got to get better at presenting it and be ready to do so. But the next part, and the most important part of it all, is remembering that even the greatest elevator pitch can be forgotten. And it will be forgotten if you don't do the most important part, and that's to follow up. Having a good follow-up flow will increase the amount of business and relationships you'll actually build. Because everyone is so busy, right? Everyone's got packed schedules. Everything's going through their minds. You need to make sure that you keep top of mind and stay relevant in the individuals that you're trying to help with your product or services minds. So that's where follow-up comes in, those touch points. You have to do multiple of them, and that's super important to have created after you have your elevator pitch. So that's all for this episode on crafting an impactful elevator pitch. Remember, it's about making a connection, opening the door to further conversations. It's not just about a transaction. So get out there, tell your story, and continue to improve and innovate and watch opportunities roll in. And I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear your pitches, give you guidance or feedback on your pitches, or any success stories that you've had with them. Go ahead and share them with us at Official Elevate Media on Instagram, and let's keep this conversation going. But until next time, go out there, continue to elevate your life, elevate your brand, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you for listening to the Elevate Media Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. See you in the next episode.